Hello, friends. There are people in all of our lives whom we do not fully understand. Sometimes, without saying a word, someone prepares us for something, shifts our thinking, and we don't even realize when, how, or why we agreed to something. Have you ever felt that someone is secretly influencing your decisions? Has anyone ever used your emotions in such a way that you started feeling helpless in your own life? Welcome to the world of dark psychology, a realm where the human mind is understood and manipulated so subtly that the person being influenced doesn't even realize they are caught in an invisible trap. Amy Brown's book, Dark Psychology: Secrets and Manipulation, uncovers this mysterious world. It reveals hidden psychological techniques and strategies used by the most cunning individuals, whether they are politicians, sales experts, or those who manipulate others purely for their own selfish gains. Stay tuned as we explore these mind-bending concepts and uncover the secrets of dark psychology. In this video, we will explore the book Dark Psychology: Secrets and Manipulation. We'll dive deep into its strategies, decode how people attempt to hack your psychology and influence your decisions, often without you even realizing it. But more importantly, we'll also uncover how you can protect yourself from these hidden tricks. Many people think manipulation is just a dramatic concept from movies, but the truth is, it's all around us. In office politics, relationships, social media, and even within our own families. The real danger of dark psychology is that it operates invisibly. Those who master it gain the power to control others without them noticing. That's why it's crucial to learn how to defend yourself. If someone ever tells you you can't even imagine what's happening to you, take it as a warning, because often, the most dangerous things are the ones we fail to see. The biggest truth of dark psychology? It works in silence. It's a hidden battle where words, emotions, and the human mind become the ultimate weapons. So, are you ready to uncover these psychological secrets? Do you want to learn how some people attempt to control others without their permission? If yes, then watch this video till the end. We'll not only expose these manipulative tactics, but also equip you with the most effective ways to protect yourself. So, let's dive into this fascinating subject. Psychology has the power to control our thoughts, emotions, and even our actions. Chapter 1. Secrets and Strategies of Dark Psychology. Have you ever met someone who dominates a room without even saying a word? Or noticed how some people influence others so effortlessly that the person being influenced doesn't even realize they're making decisions under someone else's control? This isn't magic. It's the result of deep psychological strategies used for personal gain. The art of mind and emotion control. Dark psychology is the skillful use of psychological techniques to alter how people think, feel, and make decisions. Those who master it can subtly manipulate others into acting according to their will, without them even realizing it. This power can be used ethically by the right person, but in the wrong hands, it becomes a dangerous weapon of control and selfishness. Key strategies of dark psychology. One of the most powerful techniques is emotional mirroring. Here, the manipulator subtly mimics the emotions, expressions, and behaviors of their target. When someone starts mirroring your speech, gestures, and expressions, your subconscious mind begins to trust them instinctively. This creates an unnoticed bond, and that's where manipulation begins. Another highly effective strategy is fear-based control. And from here, you can smoothly transition into explaining fear-based manipulation. The power of fear in dark psychology. The human mind is naturally influenced by fear. When we are afraid, we are willing to do almost anything to avoid the perceived threat. People who use dark psychology take full advantage of this. They use subtle words and tactics to create uncertainty and fear, making you believe that if you don't listen to them, something bad might happen. This fear could be about financial loss, social rejection, or emotional breakdown. A skilled manipulator can plant a narrative in your mind that serves their own interests. Gaslighting. Manipulation through doubt. Another dangerous psychological technique is gaslighting. This is when someone distorts your perception of reality, making you doubt your own thoughts and memories. They repeatedly tell you that you're misunderstanding things, misremembering events, or even imagining things. Over time, you start questioning yourself, wondering if you're actually wrong and they are right. Gaslighting is so powerful that the victim loses confidence in their own judgment and becomes completely dependent on the manipulator. Guilt tripping, a subtle form of control. Another hidden strategy of dark psychology is guilt tripping. Here, the manipulator makes you feel guilty to control your actions. For example, if someone says, "If you don't help me, I'll be really upset," or "If you don't listen to me, it means you don't care about me." They are using guilt as a weapon. It's a subtle yet highly effective way to keep someone under control. Dark psychology in everyday life. These psychological tricks are not just used in personal relationships. They are applied on a massive scale in politics, business, marketing, and social media. Companies study human psychology to design advertisements that subconsciously influence buying decisions. Politicians craft speeches that trigger emotions and fears to gain support. Dark psychology is everywhere, shaping our choices in ways we don't even realize. Many companies use fear tactics to influence customer behavior. They create urgency through scarcity marketing, using phrases like "limited time offer" or "only a few left in stock," which triggers impulse decisions. Similarly, leaders and influencers manipulate emotions to sway public opinion and gain control over people's thoughts and actions. The isolation technique, cutting you off from others. One of the most dangerous dark psychology techniques is isolation. In this method, the manipulator slowly distances their victim from friends, family, and support systems. They plant doubts, making the person believe that others are untrustworthy and that only the manipulator truly understands them. Once the victim feels alone, they become completely dependent on the manipulator's words and actions, making them easier to control. This technique can be used for both good and bad purposes, but if you learn to recognize these strategies, you can protect yourself from manipulation and build mental strength. Are you aware of these psychological tricks? Now, ask yourself, can you identify when someone is using these strategies on you? Do you recognize when your emotions are being manipulated? Most importantly, are you prepared to protect yourself? Understanding the secrets of dark psychology isn't just about controlling others. It's about learning how to control yourself. Because once you see through these mind tricks, you become immune to them. No one can manipulate you easily if you understand their tricks. Now, it's up to you how you use this knowledge. As a mental shield to protect yourself, or as a psychological weapon to influence others. Chapter 2. Analyzing dark psychology. Have you ever wondered what you could achieve if you had the power to understand the deep psychological tricks people use? If you could recognize when someone is playing a game with you, wouldn't it be easier to protect yourself before falling into their trap? To do this, we must analyze dark psychology. This isn't ordinary psychology. It's about diving deep into the hidden aspects of the human mind that most people never even think about. What is dark psychology? Dark psychology is the study of power, control, and influence. It's the art of identifying a person's weaknesses, manipulating their desires and fears, and leading them in a direction where they don't even realize what's happening to them. This field explores the mental techniques often used by narcissists, psychopaths, and master manipulators. Recognizing manipulation in daily life. Every day, we encounter people who play with our emotions, guilt trip us into doing things, exploit our fears to control our actions. Most of the time, we don't even realize that our decisions, thoughts, and emotions are being subtly influenced. But when we start analyzing dark psychology, we begin to see how some people manipulate our emotions, thoughts, and perceptions without us even noticing. Understanding these techniques gives you the power to break free from their control. Understanding the human mind, the first step in dark psychology. The key to understanding dark psychology is knowing how the human mind works. Our psychological patterns, fears, desires, and insecurities make us vulnerable. We feel happy when someone approves of us and restless when ignored. Fear makes us anxious, while validation draws us closer to those who provide it. This is psychology, and this is exactly what dark psychology exploits. Think about it. When a manipulator makes you feel like you're always wrong, is it just an argument? When someone controls you by saying, "You don't want to disrespect me, right?" Zrania, is it just an emotional request? When fear-based decisions are forced upon you, is it just a warning? No, this is dark psychology in action. The most dangerous weapons of dark psychology manipulators use several tactics to control others. Manipulation, twisting situations to serve their own agenda, deception, misleading you into believing false narratives, gaslighting, making you doubt your own reality, guilt tripping, using guilt to make you comply, check, emotional exploitation, playing with your feelings for control. All these techniques have one goal: to subtly control your emotions and thoughts. For example, if someone makes you feel like a bad person just to get their way, that's guilt tripping. If someone convinces you that your own thoughts are wrong, that's gaslighting. If someone slowly deceives you to gain influence over you, that's manipulation. Persecution versus manipulation. Another hidden aspect of dark psychology is understanding the difference between persecution and manipulation, which we'll dive into next. Persecution versus manipulation. Understanding the difference. Many people confuse persecution and manipulation, but there's a key difference. Persecution is an ethical skill where persuasion is used to convince someone. It involves a balance of logic and emotions, allowing the other person to agree without pressure. Manipulation, on the other hand, is an unethical method where someone controls another person's emotions to get what they want. Using dark psychology for awareness, not harm. By studying dark psychology, we gain insight into how people think, react, and when they are most vulnerable. But learning this does not mean we should use it unethically. Instead, this knowledge helps us protect ourselves. When we recognize that someone is playing with our emotions, we become alert and can avoid falling into their trap. Have you been a victim of dark psychology? Ask yourself. Have you ever felt that your decisions weren't truly your own? Has someone subtly pressured you into doing something without realizing it? Have you ever been in a toxic relationship where you were a victim of gaslighting or guilt tripping? Understanding psychology isn't just about spotting manipulation, it's about building mental strength. Think of it as a mental shield that protects you from those who try to control your emotions. Once you learn to identify patterns of dark psychology, you become stronger and more conscious of your decisions. The choice is yours. Now it's up to you. Will you remain a puppet in the hands of others? Or will you recognize the power of your mind and build a strong mental defense? Chapter 3. The Art of Manipulation. Have you ever wondered how some people convince others so easily? They shape people's thoughts and decisions without force, without arguments, just with words and gestures. How do they do it? Let's find out. The art of manipulation. Manipulation is more than just a psychological trick. It's a game of emotions, fears, desires, and insecurities. A skilled manipulator reaches deep into a person's subconscious mind, making them believe they made a decision on their own, when in reality, every step was carefully planned. Think about it. When someone says, "If you love me, you will do this," is that love or a mental trick? When someone makes you feel guilty for not helping them, even when you had valid reasons, was it just a request or a psychological trap? When someone convinces you that your thinking is wrong and they are right, was it just an argument, or was it a subtle attack on your mind? Why does manipulation work? Manipulation works because humans are emotional creatures. We all crave love, respect, security, and acceptance. And when someone gains control over these emotions, they can bend us to their will. This art is so subtle that we often don't even realize we're being manipulated. We think we're making our own choices. But in reality, every decision has been orchestrated to push us in a specific direction. How do manipulators control us? A skilled manipulator understands a person's biggest weakness. Some people seek validation. They can be manipulated through approval. Some fear rejection. They can be controlled through intimidation. Some are easily trapped by guilt. They can be made to feel responsible for things beyond their control. Some are placed in situations where they feel helpless, leaving them with no choice but to comply. Manipulation isn't magic, it's psychology. And the more you understand it, the stronger your mental defense will be. The hidden game of manipulation. Manipulation is a mental game where no one openly loses, but one person always ends up mentally defeated. You may have seen this in relationships, where emotions are used as weapons. Friendships, where guilt is used to get favors. Office politics, where words are twisted to shift blame. Everyday life, where people play mind games to control others. Have you ever been convinced to do something you didn't want to do? Felt guilty after helping someone as if you betrayed yourself? Had your words twisted so that you always felt like the bad guy? Common manipulation tactics. Gaslighting, making you doubt your own thoughts and reality. Silent treatment, ignoring you until you give in. Guilt tripping, making you feel bad so you comply. Passive aggression, subtle attacks disguised as harmless words. Mind games, controlling you without you even realizing it. Is manipulation always bad? Not necessarily. Sometimes manipulation can be a defense mechanism. If someone is forcing their influence on you, subtle manipulation may be your only way to protect yourself. When dealing with toxic people or narcissists, sometimes you have to speak their language to set boundaries. But the most important thing is to recognize manipulation before it controls you. How to protect yourself. Question sudden guilt or pressure. Is it real or a tactic? Stay firm in your decisions. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment. Trust your intuition. If something feels off, it probably is. At the end of the day, the key to avoiding manipulation is awareness. If you see the game, you don't have to play it. Chapter 4. The Art of Persuasion. Have you ever met someone so influential that people naturally agree with them? Their words seem powerful and convincing. When they ask for something, it's hard to say no. People feel drawn to their ideas without feeling pressured. This is not magic, it's the art of persuasion. What is persuasion? Persuasion is not manipulation or force. It's a subtle influence that guides someone's thoughts without them realizing it. A skilled persuader doesn't pressure you. They make you feel like you're making the choice on your own. Think about it. When a salesperson sells you something you didn't plan to buy, was it just a good pitch or a persuasion technique? When a leader inspires thousands of people with their words, was it just a speech or a deep psychological strategy? When a friend or colleague convinces you to do something willingly, was it just a request or expert persuasion? The power of persuasion. Persuasion works because it is subtle. It's not about forcing someone. It's about guiding their thinking in a way that makes them agree naturally. That's why successful business leaders, politicians, sales experts, and motivational speakers all master this skill. Would you like to learn how to use persuasion in your own life? Stay tuned for the next part. The power of emotions in persuasion. Humans are emotional beings, and emotions play a big role in decision-making. A good persuader knows that emotions matter more than logic. That's why great public speakers don't just share facts. They connect with emotions. They make people feel their message, not just understand it. Persuasion in everyday life. Persuasion is everywhere in our daily lives. A child convinces their parents to buy an expensive toy by repeatedly insisting. A boss gets an employee to work overtime without giving an official order. A lover persuades their partner to agree to something without forcing them. Persuasion versus manipulation. Manipulation forces or tricks someone using fear or guilt. Persuasion gently guides their thinking by showing a new perspective. A skilled persuader never pressures others. Instead, they understand what the other person wants and present their idea in a way that makes them agree naturally. How persuasion works in advertising. Big brands don't just show product features, they target emotions. A perfume ad doesn't just talk about the scent. It makes you feel like it will make you more attractive and confident. A car ad doesn't just list specifications. It makes you feel a sense of luxury, adventure, or power. Persuasion is an invisible force. When used correctly, it can change how people think and feel. The power of persuasion. The true power of persuasion is making people not just see something, but feel connected to it. Now, can persuasion be learned? Yes. It's not just a natural talent. It's a skill that anyone can develop. If you understand it, you can use it to improve both your personal and professional life. How to protect yourself from dark psychology. Have you ever felt like someone is slowly controlling you, but you can't figure out how? Have you ever experienced guilt tripping or emotional manipulation? If so, it's time to learn how to protect yourself from dark psychology. Why is dark psychology dangerous? It is subtle. You don't even realize it's happening. It hides in words, tone, body language, and even silence. Skilled manipulators never let their victims know they are being controlled. But if you recognize these tricks, no one can manipulate you easily. Step 1. Self-awareness. The first and most important step is knowing yourself. Be aware of your emotions, thoughts, and reactions. Manipulators target insecurities. If you accept your weaknesses, no one can use them against you. Step 2. Set emotional boundaries. To protect yourself, you must create clear emotional boundaries. This helps you stay in control of your thoughts, decisions, and feelings, no matter how much someone tries to influence you. Protect yourself from manipulation. Many people get manipulated because they don't have clear emotional boundaries. They don't know when to take things seriously and when to ignore them. A manipulator will try to break your boundaries so you follow their wishes. Use guilt tripping to make you feel obligated. Turn your emotions against you to control your actions. But if you learn to say no and set strong boundaries, you can protect yourself from these mind games. Think critically and stay logical. Manipulators rely on emotions to influence people. But if you start analyzing things logically, you can avoid their traps. Before reacting, ask yourself, is this really right, or is it just an emotional trick? Sometimes just pausing and thinking can save you from being manipulated. Be assertive and confident. A manipulator has power only if you are unsure of yourself. But if you stand up for yourself, express your opinions clearly, make decisions without pressure, then no one can easily control you. Watch actions, not just words. Often, manipulators are people we know, friends, colleagues, relatives, or even loved ones. If someone lowers your self-esteem, guilt trips you often, mentally exhausts you, then be careful. This is a red flag. The best way to avoid manipulation is to be mentally strong and trust yourself. How to protect yourself from manipulation. The key to avoiding manipulation is self-respect, self-worth, and confidence. When you know your value, manipulators lose control over you. Manipulators target people who seek emotional validation, need approval from others, are easily influenced. But if you believe in yourself, no one can control you through guilt or pressure. Maintain distance from toxic people. If someone is constantly affecting your mental health, the best solution is to distance yourself. This may not always be easy, but whenever possible, stay away from toxic people. Remember, sometimes the best way to protect yourself is to walk away. Get out of the victim mindset. Many people believe they always get manipulated and can't escape it. But the truth is, manipulation only works on those who don't recognize it. Once you understand these psychological tricks, you become mentally strong, and no one can easily control you. Final thoughts. Have you ever been manipulated without realizing it? Have you ever been a victim of guilt-tripping, emotional blackmail, or gaslighting? If yes, then are you ready to protect yourself now? Understanding dark psychology is a powerful mental shield. It's up to you. Will you stay vulnerable or become strong? Stay connected. Like this video if you found it helpful. Comment below. Have you ever felt manipulated? How did you handle it? Subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more powerful and informative videos. Next time, we'll discuss another fascinating book that will make your thinking even sharper. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Sparkles.